Hi, and welcome to my first review show. For the past couple of years I've been watching people on YouTube do review shows, where they give their thoughts as well as do a lot of comedy. People like the Nostalgia Critic, the Cinema Snob, the Blockbuster Buster, and so many fucking others. And like all these other movie reviewers, I've given myself a review nickname. It's something that I think will grab people's attention, will let you know immediately that I'm a movie guy. And it's a name I'm sure that no one else has thought of using. The Unusual Suspect. I don't want to sound too full of myself, but it just feels so great when you come up with something so original. And without further ado, let's get started. This is my review of the 2002 Spider-Man movie directed by Sam Raimi. Made in the very early years of the comic book movie boom that has since become bigger than anybody could have predicted, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man is a superhero film many remain mixed on. Some think it's too goofy, some think it's a fun ride that does a good job of mixing both action and comedy. Something Sam Raimi has proven he can pull off. And of course, there are the typical comic book purists who will get pissed if a single thing wasn't written exactly as it was in the source material. For me and a lot of others in my age range, this was one of the first superhero movies I ever saw, so of course it holds a special place in my very dark heart. So for anyone who doesn't read comics, lives under a rock, or doesn't have a pop culture obsessed cousin, Spider-Man is the story of Peter Parker, played by Tobey Maguire, a nerdy, socially awkward teenager who gets bullied simply for the fact that he seems strange. And considering this was made 3 years after Columbine, you'd think some of these assholes would be more cautious. Peter also apparently lost his parents many years ago, and currently lives with his Aunt May and Uncle Ben. Which seems really weird, because looking at them, you'd think they were his grandparents. Parents. Pete's only buddy is the richest kid at school, Harry Osborn, played by a still not ready to embrace his rightful place as Seth Rogen's best friend, James Franco. Why are they friends? Well, Peter is nerdy and awkward, so that makes him an outcast, I guess. And Harry has more money than anybody around him. So that also makes him an outcast? Sure. Well, on a field trip to a science lab that makes genetically enhanced spiders, a spider that got loose ends up biting Peter and blah blah blah, DNA and science shit. Peter ends up getting spider-like superpowers. Almost makes you wonder what that spider could do on its own. Or was the merging of DNA the only way the powers would work? After finding out he can climb walls, jump buildings like a hippie on acid, and shoot web jizz out of his wrists that let him swing around like a third-rate Tarzan, Peter's uncle ends up getting killed by a criminal he chose not to stop when he had the chance. After the mourning period and a ton of sexy cry scenes, Peter is motivated by his uncle's last kind of poetic words, "With great power come great responsibility," and decides to fight crime under as Spider-Man, who at that point had barely reached the legal age to fucking smoke. Also, like in all superhero movies, there's a love interest played by Kristen Dunst. She plays Mary Jane Watson, and no, the filmmakers didn't take the opportunity to make her a stoner chick. She's pretty much the token damsel in distress who needs to get saved at every other scene. And screams so much you'd swear she was getting sodomized by a cactus. And of course, what is a superhero film without a kick-ass villain? It turns out Harry's father, Norman Osborn, is a mad scientist with good intentions who, after being unable to find any volunteers, experiments a performance-enhancing chemical on himself. The chemical gives him super strength, but also causes him to go insane, turning him into the kill-happy green armor-wearing motherfucker known as the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin is played by William Dafoe, and he is the best fucking thing in this movie. He just brings so much energy and so much craziness to this villain role. In the scenes where he's Norman Osborn, he's very intimidating. In the scene where he's the Green Goblin, he is so psychotically evil. Something Dafoe just excels at. From there, the movie becomes a rad adventure of Spider-Man kicking all sorts of criminal ass, eventually going toe-to-toe with the Green Goblin. During all this, he harbors feelings for Mary Jane, but never tries to ask her out because if anyone found out who I was, they knew who to go after, blah blah blah. The ones I care about will pay for my actions bullshit. And despite that, He gets agitated when he sees or finds out she's dating someone not him. Dude, either take a chance and ask her out, or get the fuck over it. And like almost every other superhero film ever made, the public's reaction is pretty mixed. Some people are like, holy shit, a costume crime fighter. And then there are some who think he sucks and act very hostile. To the point that I'm like, what do you do? Kick your dog? Rape your sister? One of these people who ain't down with the Spides is J. Jonah Jameson, the editor-in-chief of a New York tabloid called the Daily Bugle. He's played excellently by the always awesome J.K. Simmons. Jameson is such an asshole, but he is just Nicolas Cage levels of fun. Eventually Peter gets a job. As wonderful as stopping bad guys is, it don't pay the rent. He ends up becoming a freelance photographer, working ironically enough at the Bugle for Jameson. Oh, the hilarity that ensues. So all in all, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man is a very enjoyable action comedy. It's not perfect, but name a superhero movie that is. It's got fun characters, a ton of cool scenes, like Peter fighting the school bully, a wonderfully crazy sequence where he tries to win money in a wrestling match against Macho Man Randy Savage, a fight with the Green Goblin on top of a bunch of parade floats, and a surprisingly brutal final showdown that will definitely make you flinch. I totally recommend this fucking movie. Thanks for watching. This has been my first review as The Unusual Suspect. Spread the word, and I'm sure that name will become known to a lot of people very soon. See you next time. And upload completed. Now to let the views and comments roll in.
Hey, Rick.
I'm in here, Beth.
Hey, how was your day?
It was great. I did something very productive. Well, you know how I love watching all these YouTube reviewers? Well, I made a movie review myself. Filmed it, edited it, and uploaded it a few hours ago. I know there's like a million people doing that right now, but I think mine was very well done and will stick with a lot of people. And I gave myself a name that no one has ever thought of using before. The Unusual Suspect. Pretty cool, huh? That's a name you know will grab people's attention. And the movie I reviewed was Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. I talked about the characters, the plot, and I even made some jokes. I can't read minds, but I think they were pretty fucking funny. Video's been up about 3 hours now. Thought I'd sit back, relax, and see what rolls in. So what do you think? Pretty awesome, right?
Babe, I think that there's something you should see.
So he's a freelance porn star? No, he is not a freelance porn star.
A crab. Mega crab.
Ultra crab. Big crab. Smelly crab. Ass crab. Okay, that's just disturbing. selfish. Your little girlfriend's death would have been quick and painless, but now that you've really pissed me off. Sheesh, what's the point of? How you might as well just go all the way. I'm gonna nice and slow. That's my job, you green radioactive fuckhead. Why not take off his helmet? I'm gonna kill you, goblin. God, I think I just broke it. Oh, God, I think I just broke this one too. Oh. Godspeed, Spider-Man. Oh. Oh, jeez, right in the goblin sack.
Cocksucker!
Hold it. Hold like that. And there. That's it. We got it.
Nice.
Not this look.
Thank you for doing this. You too, Grace. And hope all of you enjoyed this short film. Hope it was a enjoyable parody. Bye.
Cocksucker. You did cocksucker.